The following video may contain spoilers for Final Fantasy XV. Boy! My son, Hajime Tabata, y'all know the one, the one that delayed Final Fantasy XV because he was too busy getting drunk in Germany? Yeah, that same one. Now let me backtrack here a little bit. Final Fantasy XV came out about a month ago as of the uploading of this video, and people have been complaining left and right. This is a fucking terrible game, I hate it, 0 out of 10, worst thing to happen in Final Fantasy since it's all the bravest. Alright, realistically, we all know that nothing is ever going to be worse than all the bravest, but he recently released a statement that talked about all of the different story changes because Nomura's original vision for Final Fantasy Versus XIII was supposedly ruined in this project. So let's read what he had to say. Alright, let's read it. Let's go and read it. Links in the description if you guys want to go see this for yourselves. Final Fantasy Versus XIII was one of, along with... Alright, it's too friggin' boring already. TLDR, Final Fantasy Versus XIII original story was still kept intact. Final Fantasy XV. Oh, and also he mentioned the FNC and how it is still a part of Final Fantasy XV. So in your face, I told you guys that it was still in the FNC, and people said, oh, Tabata said that it was cut and it wasn't a part of it anymore. It's right there. And this interview was from, like, today. So... suck it. But basically it just goes on to talk about how originally Goddess Etro was supposed to be in the logo of Final Fantasy XV, who, may I just point out, this goddess, quote-unquote, Etro, is the whole reason why this huge shenanigans happened to begin with, because she was the goddess of death, and apparently Reaper worshipping was forbidden in some countries, so that would have bumped up the rating of Final Fantasy XV. Yeah, right, Tabata. No, but Luna apparently was more worthy of being in the logo because she was totally relevant to the story of Final Fantasy XV, guys. Trust us. She is a strong, independent woman who can take care of herself. She's a good character. I have seen people that said they felt worse for Jared's death than they did for Luna. Jared. Now, I'm not going to sit here and argue that the Final Fantasy XV story is the greatest thing to happen in the world since Final Fantasy VI, because realistically, it's not, alright? It's got some flaws. But is it as bad as everyone is saying it is? Should Hajime Tabata be burned at the stake? Maybe, but not because of this. Everybody and their goddamn grandmas likes to point to that one thing that one guy said in that one statement where he talked about the whole trilogy of Versus 13 and how it was going to revolve around dreams, and Ravis was going to have a big role and all this kind of stuff. May I just say, Tabata's like big thing when he first came into working on Final Fantasy XV was the fact that he somehow managed to condense the entire story that was originally going to be split among 3 different games and condensed it into one game for all of us to enjoy and not have to buy multiple games. Yeah, right! You have to watch Kingsglaive, you have to watch Brotherhood, you have to play a King's Tale, there's going to be a Final Fantasy XV MMO, you got a King's Knight, you got Justice Monsters 5, you got... which, like, why do they have this obsession with the mobile games? Like, now they have some like Kingsglaive stuff going on with Brave XVS and some 15 stuff going on with Record Keeper. It's like, Square, you must know by this point that mobile games come out and they're relevant for like a month before people stop playing them, yet there they go, releasing a King's Knight and Justice Monsters 5 on the phones. Yeah, we'll see how much longer that lasts, guys. But seriously, all this talk about like Nomura's original vision and how it was completely ruined, you guys have the statement right there. The majority of the stuff was kept. In fact, you can still see all the remnants in Final Fantasy XV, like the 6 gods that were very clearly originally going to be Fal'Cie, and Arden who was going to be a l'Cie, and the demons that are very clearly Seath. It's like, how much more Final Fantasy XIII can this get, for the good or for the bad? Look, Tabata, just let's have a talk, just me and you, just straight up. I love you, man, alright? I think you did a good job, you look like a decent guy, but I mean, come on, you could have done a better job, I'm not even gonna lie, alright? Like, the game was good, don't get me wrong, but goddamn, my son, it's like Final Fantasy XV doesn't even tell its own story. The story is told between, like, all the different media. And the guide! You guys know, like, the whole thing about the guide? And how, like, they reveal, oh, Versteel is actually Prompto's dad. And Solheim actually turned into Niflheim. And Ifrit is the one that started the Star Scourge to begin with. It's like, that's crucial information, and they're not even gonna include that in the game? What? You see, people complain about that. But, the alternative would have been Final Fantasy XV data logs, and I'm sure you guys would have loved to have those in the game, right? See, people like to complain. To this day, to this very day, I still get comments in my Stella versus Luna video saying, oh, like, Stella was gonna be a way better character, Luna sucked in the game, or Concept was way better, Stella's way hotter than Luna. They look exactly the same. But see, if we're going by that statement that one guy who was in the development team released, that you guys use against Tabata, then Stella would have actually been even less relevant than Luna. Yet there you are. I'm not gonna sit here and say that the Versus 13 concepts didn't look interesting. I mean, some of them did, and it would have been fun to play through the whole experience, you know, the game that never was, Final Fantasy Versus 13. But it's gone at this point. We're never gonna get it, and plus Nomura is probably busy slaving away with the Final Fantasy VII Remake and Kingdom Hearts 3, so there's no point being mad about it now. Let's just let it go, guys, please. Please just let it die. Tabata's a good guy, alright? He's trying, man. You know, A for effort, F for shitty reflection engine physics. And that's all I have for you guys today. Either way, I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to blitz that like button, subscribe, and as always, stay tuned for all things Final Fantasy! See you guys.
It means no worries for the release of this game. It's Square's problem-free development team. Hajime Tabata.
Hajime Tabata?
Yeah, he's the new sole director for Final Fantasy XV.
Where's Nomura?
He moved on to Kingdom Hearts 3.
This one man will solve all your problems.